Hello and welcome back to Food Entertainment for the second to last day of HorrorFest 2019. I decided after the last reviews, it would make a lot of sense just to do two films to kind of represent a director, making it the total of 6. That way we can actually meet the deadline, unlike last year. I picked some pretty good ones, so can't complain about that. It actually makes a lot of sense. So yesterday was Stephen King. Today would be John Carpenter. So let's talk about the first one. First off, this film, I would say, to this day, has never been topped in the visual effects market. I have never ever seen anybody in the visual effects market top this movie. And it's very interesting because this film was made 37 years ago. But yet nothing can beat the visual effects in this movie. The creature effects, the animatronic effects, the graphic violent effects and gore effects in this movie are just top notch. No one's ever been able to top them. Which makes this obviously a monument of filmmaking. That'd be 1982's The Thing by John Carpenter. Might add, I'm very impressed by this movie. And this was actually the first time I've ever watched The Thing theatrically. And all I gotta say is it was amazing watching it on this big ass screen with that really good sound system. Crystal clear projected image on the screen. This was definitely one hell of a ride. I definitely do envy people that were actually able to go to the movie cinemas in 1982 to watch John Carpenter's The Thing. Lucky you. But at least I can watch it on a 100-inch projection screen and kind of get roughly the same experience. I can definitely say I'm very pleased with the way that this performed on the big screen. This was really fucking cool. Alright. Well, the plot of The Thing. When a husky, a dog, is running away from a helicopter with combatants inside there trying to kill it, it comes across this, not sure what they were doing. I think they were miners. I think they were coal miners or some shit like that in Antarctica. And basically, they take the dog in, kill the person who's trying to kill them because the person was going nuts, shooting at everybody. And so they go to investigate their campsite, which is located nearby in the snowy Alaskan area. Although it might have been Antarctica. Antarctica, okay, not Alaska, Antarctica. So yeah, a research team in Antarctica pretty much has to investigate after killing a Norwegian person who was trying to kill a dog. And they go to their site, which is probably another research base. And over there they discover that the entire research team had been killed. And they stumble across this very weird looking creature. Remains of a weird looking creature of unknown origin. We're into being intelligent and leaving it back because these our main characters are researchers in a remote research base in Antarctica. They take the remains back to their site. And very, very mysteriously and quickly, we discovered that the husky dog had remnants of that creature in the dog. And it goes berserk. And then very slowly people start acting weird, and then we find out that one by one, this creature starts mimicking after killing our researchers. And it becomes a case to where we don't know if you're human or not anymore. You can't trust anybody, and it got paranoia. By the end of the film, they destroyed a research base and tried to, destroy and eliminate the threat, leaving this Kurt Russell. I always forget his name. Maybe we'll put it right here. It's not, huh? I always forget the guy's name. Keith David. Okay, Keith David. So yeah, you have Kurt Russell's character and Keith David's character remain at the end of the film. And even then, you really don't actually know if one of them is actually human and the other one mimic of a human. So you're left in the dark on that, but that's usually the way it kind of is with these type of movies. You're always kind of left slightly in the dark with the cliffhanger of the film. But that's what's kind of cool about the film, is you kind of get, the point where I think it gets truly resolved. You kind of can think about it at the end that obviously both of them die. I mean, they have no shelter. They can't go anywhere. Is sub-zero temperatures outside. We know they're going to freeze to death anyways. And so I guess in a way, the threat has been contained. But yeah, very, very cool movie. Very interesting concept. Of course, this is a remake of a 1950s creature feature known as The Thing from the 1950s. But that old 1950s movie is probably the worst creature feature of all time in a lot of ways. It's really stupid. I never liked it. There's a lot of creature features out there that I do like. That's definitely not one of them. So, very happy that John Carpenter made something that's actually good out of that stupid idea known as The Thing from the 1950s and made this so much better. Now, let's talk about quality. Very surprising quality. Now, if you noticed right here, this is not the Scream Factory release. This is the Universal bare bones release. Where I live, they did not want to stock anything good on their shelves around this time of year. And so I always had to end up going for the original releases of classics like this. And as I actually bought this movie specifically for this event. So that's why it's this version, not the Scream Factory. Scream Factory version probably would have been better. But this right here is good in quality. The colors are vivid. There's not an overwashment of warm color temperatures on the print of the film. It does have that problem of having too much cool temperature on the movie. I would have it more neutralized, can be somewhere more in the middle, where it being overly digital and overly bluish toned cool temp. But watching it theatrically, that actually works, believe it or not. It actually doesn't damage the film. I'm pretty sure if I watched this on my plasma television, it probably would look more artificial with that whole blue color temp thing that they do with these Universal releases for classic films. Make it look a little overly digital, but on the cinema screen, it actually looked pretty good. So I can definitely say that. And this projector is very similar to watching it on TV, so it may not have had that problem watching it on my television. It's hard to say, but it was looking good the way I watched it. Audio. Obviously, I watched this in DTS:X neutral sound, which is what my system does to any DTS track. I would say, despite that this film is just a DTS HD master audio track, it sounds a lot like a DTS:X track. It kind of gives you a little idea. Which means that, and I think it has to do with a lot of the effects in the movie itself. Overhead helicopters flying around and flamethrowers, and things just flopping around and stuff like that. I think that because of the things they do in this movie, this kind of comes across as more of like a DTS-X or Atmos of overhead effect type of scenario. But that's kind of what's cool about these new sound systems out there that people use these days, is the fact that you can take a regular Dolby True HD track or DTS HD Master Audio track, even a Dolby Digital track if it's really good, or standard DTS track if it's really good, and you can kind of have that overhead three-dimensional sound effect that you get with the next generation audio that you have with current movies, which I find is very cool. And that's pretty much all to say about the quality. Now, a personal little note, if you have never seen John Carpenter's The Thing, I am begging you, as somebody who cares about people watching good movies, if you have never seen this, please watch this movie. You'll be very happy that you did. You'll have a great time. And I don't usually do that with these type of movies, but this is one of the films I will definitely say that on camera. If you've never seen this movie, please watch it. You will definitely not be disappointed. This is movie making. This is movie making. All right. This is real movie making. Well, that's all there's to say about John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982. Starring Kurt Russell and Keith David. We'll see you guys next time for my review of John Carpenter's Christine, which is Return to Stephen King, but still, it's the only other John Carpenter movie I have on Blu-ray. And I think this goes quite well with this whole Masters of Horror themanology I'm doing right now with the final event for HorrorFest 2019. Well, I'll see you guys next time. Until then.